How's it going, everybody? It's your buddy Jesse Wayne Taylor, and I'm back at it again to do a little bit of Bible reading with you. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I've had another fantastic day. Thank the good Lord above. As you can tell, ooh, your bald-headed buddy might have got a little sun today, son. It don't feel like burnt. You can see my whole hand, though. Maybe it will be a little burnt. I don't know. I did spend a little time without my ball cap on in the water. It's been where we're staying at the beach has been like the ocean has been gorgeous the entire time. Like clear as maybe the clearest water I've ever seen at the beach. The weather's been a little too cool to really get to enjoy the ocean like I like to be in the water or in the room, basically. I don't really care to just lay in the sand at the beach. That's not my deal. Last year, fortunately, we're able to go to the beach, and I took some fishing gear with me, and I've tried fishing for the first time ever at the beach. I did not do very well. I was not successful. I basically bought some frozen shrimp and lost it all to nothing but the water. But yesterday morning I woke up early and was able to go walk down at the beach for a little while before everybody else woke up, and I met some fishermen that were down there and got some tips, and maybe next year I'll bring my stuff. I just knew that my little boy would be big enough to enjoy it more. Last year he just sat there in the chair with mama the whole time, but this year I knew he was going to be able to enjoy it a little bit more, and I knew that I wasn't going to be wanting to be down there for long hours. And I also learned that fishing during the day while a bunch of people are down there trying to swim is not the most fun thing in the world. It's a little more stressful. You got to think about, your line and hooks getting caught in someone, and that's just like that just made me anxious. But after talking with some of those fishermen, next year I might bust it back out, especially if I spend a couple more mornings up by myself before everybody else wakes up. There's a good chance I'm going to bring it with me next year. But I will say something's real cool. My mom was able to come with us on this trip. She bought this waterproof phone case that you can film and take pictures with underwater. Dude. We stuck her phone in that, and I took it out because there was these massive schools of these little bait fish that were like this big, about that big around right there, right? And I'm talking hundreds and thousands of them in these schools were swimming together. Like it looked like a big whale in the water, but then you like look down, or once they got a little closer, you could tell it was just these little bait fish. I'm not sure what kind of fish they were, but it was so cool, man. They came right up to just a couple of feet in the water, and then I ended up going out further in the water, and man, I'm telling you, the size of these schools of fish was just massive. I say all that to say, I'm about to play you guys a clip of what I saw with the phone camera case underwater. Check it out. How cool was that? Like, that was just so awesome to see. The first time when I was out in the water and they came through, I didn't have that camera case with a phone, and I just had a pair of goggles, and I threw my goggles on and I went under the water, and it was just it was just an epic sight to see all of those fish. Because when I say they were just like 2 foot maybe 3 foot in front of me, a wall of fish swimming by in front of me. It was so cool to see. And there was a guy that was out on the water, in the water with me at the time. We had just struck up a conversation, and he didn't have any goggles. And I said, dude, you got to put these on and check this out. And I could tell he was like, I don't know if I want to wear this guy's goggles or not. But he took them, he put them on. And when he went down, I could hear him going, whoa, underneath the water, and came back up. And it was a cool thing for both of us to get to see that. Anyways, then I came in, got that camera, tried to get a shot. I wish I was able to get more than that, but that was the only school that came back through while we were able to stay out there. Because, brother, when I say it's been chilly, it's been chilly. So we had about all we could take at that point. And I also knew that I was getting a little bit of that redhead going on. So then we cut it off after that. But cool day, awesome sights the good Lord has showed us. Last night was a beautiful sunset. We didn't really get to see it over the ocean, but we drove by this little place where we could look out and see at least the sky going down to the ocean, and it was beautiful. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. What do you say we do a little bit of Bible reading? If you ain't got your Bible, bust that thing out, dude. Today we're going to be reading through 1 Samuel 25 through chapter 28, starting off at 1 Samuel chapter 25. David, Nabal, and Abigail. Now Saul died, and all Israel assembled and mourned for him, and they buried him at his home in Ramah. Then David moved down into the desert of Paran. A certain man in Maon, who had property there at Carmel, was very wealthy. He had 1,000 goats and 3,000 sheep, which he was shearing in Carmel. His name was Nabal, and his wife's name was Abigail. She was an intelligent and beautiful woman, but her husband was surely surly and mean in his dealings. He was a Calebite. While David was in the wilderness, he heard that Nabal was shearing sheep. So he sent 10 young men and said to them, Go up to Nabal at Carmel and greet him in my name. Say to him, Long life to you, good health to you and your household, and good health to all that is yours. Now I hear that it is sheep shearing time. When your shepherds were with us, we did not mistreat them, and the whole time they were at Carmel, nothing of theirs was missing. Ask your own servants, and they will tell you. Therefore, be favorable toward my men, since we come at a festive time. Please give your servants and your son David whatever you can find for them. When David's men arrived, they gave Nabal this message in David's name. Then they waited. Nabal answered David's servants, Who is this David? Who is this son of Jesse? Many servants are breaking away from their masters these days. Why should I take my bread and water and the meat I have slaughtered for my shearers and give it to men coming from who knows where? Fair question. David's men turned around and went back. When they arrived, they reported every word. David said to his men, Each of you strap on your sword. So they did, and David strapped on his as well. About 400 men went up with David, while 200 stayed with the supplies. One of the servants told Abigail, Nabal's wife, David sent messengers from the wilderness to give our master his greetings, but he hurled insults at them. Yet these men were very good to us. They did not mistreat us, and the whole time we were out in the fields near them, nothing was missing. Night and day, they were a wall around us the whole time. We were herding our sheep near them. Now think it over and see what you can do, because disaster is hanging over our master and his whole household. He is such a wicked man that no one can talk to him. Abigail acted quickly. She took 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 dressed sheep, 5 seahs of roasted grain, 100 cakes of raisins, and 200 cakes of pressed figs, and loaded them on donkeys. Then she told her servants, Go on ahead, I'll follow you. But she did not tell her husband Nabal. As she came riding her donkey into a mountain ravine, there were David and his men descending toward her, and she met them. David had just said, "It's been useless, all my watching over this fellow's property in the wilderness, so that nothing of his was missing. He has paid me back evil for good. May God deal with David, be it ever so severely, if by morning I leave alive one male of all who belong to him." When Abigail saw David, she quickly got off her donkey and bowed down before David with her face to the ground. She fell at his feet and said, "Pardon your servant, my lord, and let me speak to you. Hear what your servant has to say. Please pay no attention, my lord, to that wicked man Nabal. He is just like his name. His name means fool, and folly goes with him." Man, that's probably why you don't hear many Nabals running around today. Or Nabal, however you say it. "And as for me, your servant, I did not see the men my Lord sent. And now, my Lord, as surely as the Lord your God lives, and as you live, since the Lord has kept you from bloodshed and from avenging yourself with your own hands, may your enemies and all who are intent on harming my Lord be like Nabal. And let this gift which your servant has brought to my Lord be given to the men who follow you. Please forgive your servant's presumption. The Lord your God will certainly make a lasting dynasty for my Lord, because you fought the Lord's battles, and no wrongdoing will be found in you as long as you live. Even though someone is pursuing you to take your life, the life of my Lord will be bound securely in the bundle of the living by the Lord your God. But the lives of your enemies he will hurl away as from the pocket of a sling. When the Lord has fulfilled for my Lord every good thing he promised concerning him and has appointed him ruler over Israel, my Lord will not have on his conscience the staggering burden of needless bloodshed or of having avenged himself. And when the Lord your God has brought my Lord success, remember your servant." David said to Abigail, "Praise be to the Lord, the God of Israel, who has sent you today to meet me. May you be blessed for your good judgment and for keeping me from bloodshed this day and from avenging myself to my own hands. Otherwise, as surely as the Lord, the God of Israel lives, who has kept me from harming you, if you had not come quickly to meet me, not one man belonging to Nabal would have been left alive by daybreak." Then David accepted from her hand what she had brought him and said, "Go home in peace. I have heard your words and granted your request." When Abigail went to Nabal, he was in the house holding a banquet like that of a king. He was in high spirits and very drunk. So she told him nothing at all until daybreak. Then in the morning, when Nabal was sober, his wife told him all these things, and his heart failed him, and he became like a stone. About 10 days later, the Lord struck Nabal, and he died. When David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, "Praise be to the Lord, who has upheld my cause against Nabal for treating me with contempt. He has kept his servant from doing wrong, and has brought Nabal's wrongdoing down on his own head." Then David sent word to Abigail, asking her to become his wife. His servants went to Carmel and said to Abigail, "David has sent us to you to take you to become his wife." She bowed down with her face to the ground and said, "I am your servant and am ready to serve you and wash the feet of my Lord's servants." Abigail quickly got on a donkey and, attended by her 5 female servants, went with David's messengers and became his wife. David had also married Ahinoam of Jezreel, and they both were his wives. But Saul had given his daughter Michal, David's wife, to Paltiel, son of Laish, who was from Gilead. Not sure how that works. I guess Saul got tired of being his father-in-law. I don't know, dude. I don't know. All right, 1 Samuel chapter 26. David again spares Saul's life. The Ziphites went to Saul at Gibeah and said, Is not David hiding on the hill of Hachilah, which faces Jeshimon?" So Saul went down to the desert of Ziph with his 3,000 select Israelite troops to search there for David. Saul made his camp beside the road on the hill of Hachilah, facing Jeshimon. But David stayed in the wilderness. When he saw that Saul had followed him there, he sent out scouts and learned that Saul had definitely arrived. Then David set out and went to the place where Saul had camped. He saw where Saul and Abner, son of Ner, the commander of the army, had lain down. Saul was lying inside the camp with the army encamped around him. David then asked Ahimelech and the Hittite and Abishai, son of Zeruiah, Joab's brother, "Who will go down into the camp with me to Saul?" "I'll go with you," said Abishai. I'm not saying that right. Abishai. Maybe that might be it. So David and Abishai went to the army by night, and there was Saul lying asleep inside the camp with his spear tucked in the ground near his head. Abner and the soldiers were lying around him. Abishai said to David, "Today God has delivered your enemy into your hands. Now let me pin him to the ground with one thrust of the spear. I won't strike him twice." But David said to Abishai, "Don't destroy him. Who can lay a hand on the Lord's anointed and be guiltless? As surely as the Lord lives," he said, "the Lord himself will strike him, or his time will come and he will die, or he will go into battle and perish. But the Lord forbid that I should lay a hand on the Lord's anointed. Now get the spear and water jug that are near his head, and let's go." So David took the spear and water jug near Saul's head, and they left. No one saw or knew about it, nor did anyone wake up. They were all sleeping because the Lord had put them into a deep sleep. Then David crossed over to the other side and stood on top of the hill some distance away. There was a wide space between them. He called out to the army and to Abner, son of Ner, "Aren't you going to answer me, Abner?" Abner replied, "Who are you who calls to the king?" David said, "You're a man, aren't you? And who is like you in Israel? Why didn't you guard your lord, the king? Someone came to destroy your lord, the king. What you have done is not good. As surely as the Lord lives, you and your men must die, because you did not guard your master, the Lord's anointed. Look around you. Where are the king's spear and water jug that were near his head?" Saul recognized David's voice and said, "Is that your voice, David, my son?" David replied, "Yes, it is, my lord, the king." And he added, "Why is my lord pursuing his servant? What have I done, and what wrong am I guilty of? Now let my lord the king listen to his servant's words. If the Lord has incited you against me, then may he accept an offering. If, however, people have done it, may they be cursed before the Lord. They have driven me today from my share in the Lord's inheritance, and have said, 'Go serve other gods.' Now do not let my blood fall to the ground far from the presence of the Lord. The king of Israel has come out to look for a flea, as one hunts a partridge in the mountains." Then Saul said, "I have sinned. Come back, David, my son. Because you considered my life precious today, I will not try to harm you again. Surely I have acted like a fool and have been terribly wrong." "Here's the king's spear," David answered. "Let one of your young men come over and get it. The Lord rewards everyone for their righteousness and faithfulness. The Lord delivered you into my hands today, but I would not lay a hand on the Lord's anointed. As surely as I valued your life today, so may the Lord value my life and deliver me from all trouble." Then Saul said to David, "May you be blessed, David, my son. You will do great things and surely triumph." So David went on his way, and Saul returned home. I guess at least he's being nice to him now after he's tried to kill him and gave his daughter to somebody else as their wife. 1 Samuel chapter 27. David among the Philistines. But David thought to himself, "One of these days I will be destroyed by the hand of Saul. The best thing I can do is to escape to the land of the Philistines. Then Saul will give up searching for me anywhere in Israel, and I will slip out of his hand." So David and the 600 men with him left and went over to Achish, son of Maoch, king of Gath. David and his men settled in Gath with Achish. Each man had his family with him, and David had his 2 wives, Ahinoam of Jezreel and Abigail of Carmel, the widow of Nabal. When Saul was told that David had fled to Gath, he no longer searched for him. Then David said to Achish, "If I have found favor in your eyes, let a place be assigned to me in one of the country towns, that I may live there. Why should your servant live in the royal city with you?" So on that day Achish gave him Ziklag, and it has belonged to the kings of Judah ever since. David lived in Philistine territory 1 year and 4 months. Now David and his men went up and raided the Geshurites, the Girzites, and the Amalekites. From ancient times, these people had lived in the land extending to Shur and Egypt. Whenever David attacked an area, he did not leave a man or woman alive, but took sheep and cattle, donkeys and camels, and clothes. Then he returned to Achish. When Achish asked, "Where did you go raiding today?" David would say, "Against the Negev of Judah, or against the Negev of Jerahmeel, or against the Negev of the Kenites." He did not leave a man or woman alive to be brought to Gath, for he thought they might inform on us and say, "This is what David did." And such was his practice as long as he lived in the Philistine territory. Achish trusted David and said to himself, "He has become so obnoxious to his people, the Israelites, that he will be my servant for life." All right, guys, thanks for hanging on with me. We got the last one for today, 1 Samuel chapter 28. I need to drink like 4 of these, I think. I had too much caffeine this morning. My wife got this. I don't really drink a lot of coffee. Most of the time I'm a hot tea or an unsweet tea kind of guy. But my wife got this cold brew coffee and then got this. It's like chocolate covered strawberry creamer and only had like 4 ingredients in it. It wasn't a bunch of trash. And man, it is like the best cold coffee and creamer I've ever had in my entire life. Like, it was phenomenal. I'm like salivating thinking about it right now. So I might have me another cup of that here in a little bit. But if I drink too much, she's going to be ticked off I drank all her coffee and creamer. So I may just stick with the tea. We'll see. But it's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, 1 Samuel chapter 28. In those days, the Philistines gathered their forces to fight against Israel. Achish said to David, "You must understand that you and your men will accompany me in the army." David said, "Then you will see for yourself what your servant can do." Achish replied, "Very well, I will make you my bodyguard for life." Saul and the medium at Endor. Now Saul was dead, and Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had mourned for him and buried him in his own town of Ramah. Saul had expelled the mediums and spiritists from the land. The Philistines assembled and came and set up at Shunem, while Saul gathered all Israel and set up camp at Gilboa. When Saul saw I hate it when they put those two together. When Saul saw the Philistine army, he was afraid. Terror filled his heart. He inquired of the Lord, but the Lord did not answer him by dreams or Urim or prophets. Saul then said to his attendants, "Find me a woman who is a medium, so I may go and inquire of her." "There is one in Endor," they said. So Saul disguised himself, putting on other clothes, and at night he and 2 men went to the women. "Consult a spirit for me," he said, "and bring up for me the one I name." But the woman said to him, "Surely you know what Saul has done. He has cut off the mediums and spiritists from the land. Why have you set a trap for my life to bring about my death?" Saul swore to her by the Lord, "As surely as the Lord lives, you will not be punished for this." Then the woman asked, "Whom shall I bring up for you?" "Bring up Samuel," he said. When the woman saw Samuel, she cried out at the top of her voice and said to Saul, "Why have you deceived me? You are Saul." The king said to her, "Don't be afraid. What do you see?" The woman said, "I see a ghostly figure coming up out of the earth." "What does he look like?" he asked. "An old man wearing a robe is coming." She said, Then Saul knew it was Samuel, and he bowed down and prostrated himself with his face to the ground. Samuel said to Saul, "Why have you disturbed me by bringing me up?" "I am in great distress," Saul said. "The Philistines are fighting against me, and God has departed from me. He no longer answers me either by prophets or by dreams. So I have called on you to tell me what to do." Samuel said, "Why do you consult me now that the Lord has departed from you and become your enemy? The Lord has done what he predicted through me. The Lord has torn the kingdom out of your hands and has given it to one of your neighbors, to David, because you did not obey the Lord or carry out his fierce wrath against the Amalekites. The Lord has done this to you today. The Lord will deliver both Israel and you into the hands of the Philistines, and tomorrow you and your sons will be with me. Ooh. The Lord will also give the army of Israel into the hands of the Philistines." Immediately Saul fell full length on the ground, filled with fear because of Samuel's words. His strength was gone, for he had eaten nothing all day and all that night. When the woman came to Saul and saw that he was greatly shaken, she said, "Look, your servant has obeyed you. I took my life in my hands and did what you told me to do. Now please listen to your servant and let me give you some food so you may eat and have the strength to go on your way." He refused and said, "I will not eat." But his men joined the women in urging him, and he listened to them. He got up from the ground and sat on the couch. The woman had a fattened calf at the house, which she butchered at once. Nice. She took some flour, kneaded it, and baked bread without yeast. Then she set it before Saul and his men, and they ate. That same night, they got up and left. Man. So I definitely don't know if I've heard this particular story before, because I don't know if I remember ever hearing about Saul talking to a medium or spiritist, whichever one it's referred to this lady has, to conjure up Samuel's spirit. That's kind of crazy to think about. You know, it makes you think that I think sometimes in especially America and like our culture, it's very easy to be convinced that kind of stuff is not real, or that like people that practice in that and like witchcraft stuff, that it's almost just like a joke. It's like not real, but I think it's been real for a while, y'all. I think it's been real for a while. Some cool stories today. What do you guys think? What do you think about doing a little bit of worshiping? If I can hit the right button. There we go. Yeah, let's do a little bit of worshiping. So, quick story about this song. I woke up in the middle of the night last night and I could not sleep. I was in a lot of pain. I have to take medication 3 times a day. It's a muscle relaxer. And if I miss that, everything from head to toe just gets insanely tight and the pain just goes straight up, right? Well, last night we were all exhausted, and normally I'll take it between 11:30 and 12 before I go to sleep. That way I can most nights can get at least sleep from 12 to 5 or 6 o'clock, right? But I fell asleep around 10 and didn't take that medication and woke up at like 1:30. And at that point, my body, like, I will go through withdrawals if I don't hit this medication on time, right? And part of that is everything, like I said, just gets super tight from head to toe, and that's what happened. I was able to kind of, like, after I took my medication, like, maybe able to sleep a little bit till like 2:30, and then I woke up again. It was just like I had to get up and walk around a little bit and let some things adjust, let some things shift back over, because when I do get really tight like that, my body needs at least some walking around to do some shifting. Anyways, sat down and decided I was going to try to write a song, and it kind of felt like I was forcing it. And I decided to say a prayer, and I asked God to help me write something that would only bring glory to Him. And man, I really love the song that was written right after that. And I can't take all the credit, because I do feel like that He was there with me the whole time, just feeding me not only words, but like the chord progression and the melody. It's just man, I just don't feel like I could do that by myself after looking at it at the end. All right, this one is called Worship You, and I want you to worship with me. All right, you know what to do. Sing it with me. Well, like I said, you don't know this one, but hopefully you'll start singing once you catch on. No one is greater than you. You're perfect in all that you do. You knew me before I was born. You calmed the seas in my storm. I've lived a life full of sin. Even still you brought me in, like an orphan out living alone. But you made me one of your own. How can I do anything but worship you? Now that I know that I was made to do that, I've wasted breath in my lungs with so many songs that I've sung when I ran away. Lord, you took me back. Now all I wanna do is worship you. Father, I have a friend. I want you to let them in. Help me to show them your love, the kind that comes straight from above. If they see it, they will come, and they'll put their faith in your Son. When He died, the deed was done. That's when the battle was won. How can I do anything but worship you? Now that I know that I was made to do that, I've wasted breath in my lungs with so many songs that I've sung when I ran away. Lord, you took me back. Now all I wanna do is worship you. All of my days I'll sing your praise. All my life I'll sing. How can I do anything but worship you? Now that I know that I was made to do that, I've wasted breath in my lungs with so many songs that I've sung when I ran away. Lord, you took me back. Now all I wanna do is worship you. No one is greater than you. You're perfect in all that you do. You knew me before I was born, and you calmed the seas in my storm. Amen. Hallelujah. And praise the Lord Jesus Christ. Help us, Lord, to want to worship you more and more every day, because we're going to get to do a whole lot of that up there in heaven. Man, that's going to sound real good. Guys, thank y'all for hanging out with me. Thank you for doing a little Bible reading with me. Thank you for doing a little bit of worshiping with me. If you like what's going on this channel, do me a favor. Like the videos. Leave me some comments. Let me know who you are, where you're from, what you like, what you don't like. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss an episode. Lastly, also, if you're listening on a podcast streaming service, subscribe there as well, and then mosey on over to YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. That way when you're chilling at the house watching a little TV, you can pull your old bald-headed buddy Jesse up on the TV screen and do a little bit of Bible reading with him. Lastly, let's share this with everyone and bring as many people on the Bible reading journey together with us that we can. If you don't think your friends and family will enjoy watching me read the Bible, no sweat, dude. Don't worry about sharing these videos. But my challenge to you would be to still share the gospel, share the truth, share the light in some shape, form, or fashion, whatever way is easiest for you. Like I said, if these videos are not the way that you think you need to go about it, the website that we've been reading the Bible from is the YouVersion website. Pull that back up and down. Well, let's go up here. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Here's the QR code. If you scan that with your phone right now, that'll take you to the YouVersion Bible app. You can download it on your Bible on your phone for free. You can share it for free. Now, if I were a non-Christian and someone shared the Bible app with me and said, "Hey, Jesse, you need to read the Bible," I don't think I'd do it. Y'all know I'm not a huge fan of reading in the first place. So that definitely, I don't think, would pique my interest in jumping into that. But if someone sent me a message and said, "Hey, Jesse, I've been thinking about you. I love you, and I'm getting ready to do this Bible reading devotional. It's only 14 days. I'd love for you to do it with me." That might make it happen for me. That would maybe make me do that. Maybe make me get into doing some Bible reading, which could be the foot in the door for one of your friends to start exploring their faith and hopefully eventually finding salvation in the wonderful, merciful Savior, Jesus Christ. All right, guys, I think that's all I need to say to you today. Maybe I'll get out there and get some more cool underwater videos for you tomorrow. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But regardless, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.